Good afternoon and welcome to my channel. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, I kindly ask that you just subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified on when I post videos. Well, if you look at my channel, I say probably 99% of my videos are all faith-related videos. I have one or two that aren't faith-related. I have one on how to work out. I used to be a personal trainer back in the day, and so I give free advice on how one should go about working out. If I remember, I'll link that video on here too. And also, I have one on prepping, how to become a prepper, how to prepare yourself for what might be coming. So, as I posted this video, you'll see the subject is, are you ready for what's coming? So I'm asking, are you ready for what's coming? So what prompted me to post this video is, I'm not, first of all, I'm going to use a disclaimer here. I'm not no economist. I'm not no market expert. I'm nobody. I'm just a jack of all trades and a master of none. But I follow a lot of economists, both from overseas and in the United States, and I listen closely to what they say. And I heard one was speaking this morning, and what he was saying actually brought a lot of things to mind, and I wanted to share something with you guys, just to, I guess, open your eyes if you're not aware of what's going on and how this can potentially impact you. So I'm going to read what I wrote. Student loan payments and interests are set to resume in a matter of weeks as a 3-year moratorium on federal student loan repayment comes to an end. But as student loan borrowers prepare for the return to repayment, the Biden administration is rolling out a new interest benefits that will impact millions. I don't know if you've heard this in the news, but if you haven't, look it up. The student loan pause is set to expire at the end of August. Joe Biden signed legislation codifying the end of this payment pause. So unless there is a national emergency distinct from the COVID-19 pandemic, he will not be able to extend the pause again. I'm going to read that again. Unless there is a new national emergency distinct from the COVID-19 pandemic, the president, will not be able to extend that pause again. I'm going to hit on that message a little bit later again. Interest will start accruing again in September. Interest rates for most federal student loans are fixed at a rate set by Congress based on the date of the loan's original disbursement and do not change with market conditions. So for borrowers, interest rates will return to the rates that were in effect when the student loan pause was initially implemented. Loan services will generate billing notices in September, and the first student loan billing dates will be billed in October, according to the Education Department. The Biden administration, this is what I want to hit on. The Biden administration announced on Friday, July 14th, that it was going to cancel $39 billion of debt for 804,000 student loan borrowers. This follows the June 39th, that goes on to talk about how the Supreme Court denied his previous thing that he wanted to do on a student loan forgiveness program, because that one was crazy. So anyway, so $39 billion he's going to wipe away from student loan debts. So this country, we have, and this is the stats that I got, $1.75 trillion in student loan debt. An average almost $30,000 per borrower, okay? About 92% of all student debt are federal student loans, and that's key here. They're federal student loans. The other 8 are private loans. The other 8% is private loans. So 92% are federal. That means we're paying back the money to the government, okay? So, let me get down to the nitty-gritty, what I wanted to talk about, what I wanted to warn you guys about or make you aware of. So, how is this not about student debt, about students? This is really not, this forgiveness stuff is really not. They're making it look like it has a lot to do with students and it's for students, but that's just a small picture. There's a bigger picture behind this. This is all about the nightmare this current administration and the American citizens are facing. We are looking down the barrel of a gun. The economy is in deep trouble. but this administration and Wall Street continues to use smoke and mirrors to distract or lie to you of its true state. We are over $32 trillion in debt as a nation. But the scariest thing is that we are on track to pay over $1 trillion on interest alone this year. $1 trillion. With $32 trillion in debt. $1 trillion we got to pay $1 trillion just to the interest of our loans, our national loans, okay? So again, how is that not a problem? How is it not about students? Well, it actually is about students, but it's also about you. You see, the student loan repayment has had the moratorium for 3 years now, okay? So I just read how repayment will resume in a couple of weeks, right? What do you think those students have been doing with those monthly loan payments that they were not required to make for the 3+ years that's passed? Do you think they've been frugal and invested and or saved that money for when the banks come calling, as they will in September? I'd venture to guess that 90% or more have not done that. So what exactly have most of them been doing with that money? Now, I'm just guessing here, okay? I'd say that some have used it just to stay afloat with the constant cost of living. But I think that the majority have foolishly spent that money on consumer items and or vacations and or other frivolous things. I want to pause 1 second here. I remember talking to my sister when they started giving out the PPP, whatever, the money they were giving out for COVID. I didn't qualify for any of that, but that money that they were giving out to the people for COVID, how much some people were making more through that than I was making on a monthly basis in my job. So anyway, so the money that they were giving out, my sister worked in retail. She actually worked at a Walmart down in Florida. And we were talking on the phone, and she was like, it's crazy. She goes, these people coming in with this money that they're getting from the government, and they're buying these 70-inch TVs. They're buying new refrigerators. They're buying everything. And I don't think that was just an anomaly. I don't think it was just in that area where she lives and where she worked. I think it's probably around the whole nation. These people who are not used to receiving money all of a sudden get this windfall, and what do? Instead of saving it in case things got worse, they went and spent it foolishly on things, material things, things that you can't eat a TV, you can't eat a refrigerator. So these things, so that's how, and I believe that the student part of the society that have all these student loans, I believe a lot of them have done the same thing, have spent the money foolishly. So now what happens? So how does this impact us all? Just think about it. Student loans are over $2 trillion. So that $39 billion of forgiveness that the president just gave is peanuts. That's, in the grand scheme of it all, $39 billion is peanuts when you're talking about $2 trillion. So that money that wasn't being paid back and instead was being poured into a stumbling economy, okay? So now instead of paying back those student loans, these students were using this money for the stumbling economy, to help support the stumbling economy. How? I say a lot of them were using it just to stay afloat, just to be able to survive, just to keep up with the constant cost of living, how it's going up and up and up and up. So I also think that, these students have been spending this money. So now that money that was going into the economy for the last 3 years is no longer going to be going into the economy. Think about it. That's how many students, 800, a million students, whatever it is. I don't know how many millions of students there were. I should have researched that. But all that money that was going back to the federal loans, going back to the government, they had all that money coming in and they weren't able to use it. And we see foolishly how they've been using billions of it to fight somewhere we have no business being in. So anyway, so now that money's not coming in. So what do you do? I'm going to use you as an example. What do you do if you lose your job? Okay, you have two incomes, you and your wife or your husband. You have two incomes and you lose one of those incomes. What do? You're going to have to try to make by with the one income. And if you can't, what happens? You can't eat, or you lose your car or get repossessed, or you're worse off. I mean, you lose your house, or you can't pay medical bills. You have to delay things that you need to get done, things like that. So the same thing's going to happen with the government. They're not going to be receiving all this money, which is almost like the equivalent to taxes. So the economy, which I'm saying it's struggling. They're not showing it. Like I said, they're using smoke and mirrors to hide everything from you. It's going to take a huge hit come this fall. It's going to take a huge hit. And they can't print any more money. They got to stop printing money, because by printing so much money, they're only going to devalue the money more and more, and the dollar more and more, and inflation is going to continue to rise. And this, it's a vicious cycle. And how do we get out of this? I have no clue, because as I said, I'm not an economist. As a Christian, I believe that the only way that we have out of this is through Jesus Christ. It's the only way we're going to get out of this, if and when he returns. Okay, so I want to end this with this. I said, my two greatest fears, okay, are what will this incompetent administration do? When a ship is sinking, normally the captain goes down with it. But this captain at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and the puppet masters that are pulling his strings will take every passenger down with this ship. That's my first fear. My second fear is that they usher something else to justify another moratorium. No matter how much they try to delay it, the chickens will ultimately return to roost. Okay, so as I read here in this article that I had copied, it said, so unless there is a new national emergency distinct from COVID-19 pandemic, the president will not be able to pause the student loan repayment again. Okay, so just think about them. And I don't put anything past these people. So my question to you is, are you prepared? Are you prepared for whatever comes? Do you have a life vest for when the water pouring in can no longer be bailed out? Are you prepared? So with that being said, as I mentioned in the beginning, I have two videos that I posted early on when I started this channel. One was how to get in shape, to work out. Former personal trainer. I give some free advice in that short video. And I also did one on, I'm also a prepper, not like those crazy preppers that are, doomsday prepper. I just prepared for what's coming. The storm's coming. I hope to have what I need in case I can't get out and get the things I need. Just general preparedness. So I made a video on that too. I'm going to post it on here. And if you want, go check it out. And with that, I'll let you guys go. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly do so. God bless you.